That was simply not good enough. And, well, the hopes and ambitions of winning the Premier League title this season have drastically fallen. So let's get into it because that display against Newcastle was a disgrace. And it's somewhat worrying just because we've had glimpses and signs of this result and performance coming. But before we had the excuses, the officials, the going down to 10 men, the Odegaard thing, but now it's just there isn't an excuse for that. With or without Odegaard, there's no excuse for that because Arteta's had time to adjust, to adapt, and come up with creative new ideas to win games. And nonetheless, with or without Odegaard, you still got to be going to Newcastle, St James's Park, and getting 3 points, especially after the run of form we've been in lately, losing to Bournemouth, drawing to Liverpool. And I say that as a club, as a team who have ambitions to go on and win the title against this insanely good Manchester City team. We know how tight and how near perfect you have to be to go and perform like that at St James's Park. And look, perform like that. But if you get the 3 points, then you end up getting away with it and saying, you know what, St James's Park is one of the most difficult grounds to go to in the country. Coming out of there with a bad performance with 3 points, you sort of take that. We didn't get anything. We had a chance at the end with Rice and we didn't even get the point. And everybody from top to bottom were absolutely terrible. The decisions from the manager, the tactics, the setup, the choice of substitutions, timing of substitutions, everything was absolutely shambolic and we deserve to lose. There's no doubt about that. As a club who are no longer in a top four battle with not even, you know, we shouldn't be looking at it as a title race now. We need to be saying this season we want to be getting over the line. We want to be making the difference over Manchester City. And to have fallen as much as we have so far inside the first 10 games is very worrying because, yes, we didn't win against Newcastle away from home last season, but we beat Bournemouth away from home. We beat Liverpool at home. We got those points last season in those fixtures that we didn't get this season, and we are behind right now. And there's so much to go into in regards to the whole context of everything. We can talk about the transfer window, we can talk about individuals, we can talk about the tactics, we can talk about Odegaard, we can talk about everything. But ultimately, regardless to any of the choices made with the selection, the players that went out there just didn't turn up. And I'm sorry, if you want to win a Premier League title, after all the talk before the season started about, oh, we're hungry to win it, we want to go and achieve great things with this club, all of this, and to go and perform like that at St James's Park, I'm sorry, you don't look like a team who actually want to win the league. And so let's talk about Arteta first, because I think that is, for me, he is most in fault for that, and I'm his biggest fan. The fans that are going around saying Arteta out, they just don't listen to them because they don't know what they're on about. But he is to blame. I'm sorry, he is. We've seen in the past few games, even when we've managed to secure some points, the lack of creativity. Look, the first couple games without Odegaard, we managed with Trossard going away to Tottenham, going away to Man City. We managed to adapt and it worked. But that time was always going to run out. And it has run out. It ran out a couple games ago. And so what do? You don't go and change other aspects to the system, to your team, to try and best suit that because all it's doing is just hindering the whole team. Let's start with Havertz. He is our striker. He is best positioned playing up front, and the whole team best perform when he is a platform to play off. Why he's coming into midfield, why he's drifting out on the left, why he's drifting out on the right, I don't know. But for me, that's clearly a tactical issue. To me, that's trying to overcompensate to the absence of Odegaard by saying, Havertz, you can come in and you can do that work. No, he is not good in midfield. He is best placed up front, so we need to stop trying to shoehorn him in positions that he's not best placed in. Oh, because he wins duels. Oh, because of his movement. I don't care. It doesn't work. You then look at the other midfield situation, the defensive, the number 6 role. Yes, Thomas Partey's having an amazing season, but you don't have to try shoehorn him in at right back just so you can fit him and Rice in the same team. You play Partey or you play Rice or you play Jorginho. It's really that simple. For me, when you get Declan Rice at his very best, playing at number 6, his best position, you got one of the best number 6s in the world. And we've seen that last season, how well he played. I know Partey's playing amazing, but we have a game every 3 games you can rotate. Marino, I'm sure he'll end up working out, but the balance of the system isn't best fitting for him right now. It's like when we had Xhaka. The rest of the team weren't functioning, so we didn't get to see how good Xhaka was. When things started to click, we saw how good he was. I'm not really going to go on about Marino because I don't think we're best positioned to be able to judge him right now. And so we go to the Odegaard position. He is out, okay? It's as simple as that. There's nothing we can do about that. What do you do to fix that situation? You don't try and ruin the rest of the system just to try and better that situation. What you do is you try to fix that isolated position. And look, if you're going to sell Emile Smith-Rowe, fine. If you're going to loan out Fabio Vieira, fine. But if you're going to trust Wanyeri to step in and fill that void, you have to really trust him. When he came on, to me, he didn't do much, but not worse than what anybody else did, and he's 17 years old. And for me, he should have started. I've been calling for him to start for so long, and now it's getting to a point where if he's good enough, he's old enough, and you have to start trusting him. Yes, St. James's Park is a very difficult ground to go to. We all know that. But do you want to win games? It's really that simple. Do you want to win games? Do you want to take risks? For me, Arteta bottled it, and I don't think he's being brave enough with this situation. And if you don't trust him, literally if you don't trust him, bring in someone that you can trust. And that's a perfect segue into the transfer window because this is the bigger picture and we do have to address it because that transfer window we just had in the summer was simply not good enough. That was the transfer window where Arsenal fans needed to be going into this season confident about, oh, we have done enough to bridge that gap now. We have done enough to beat Man City this season and we're so confident we're going to do it. But we didn't, did we? I'm sorry, but yes, Calafiori, very good signing. Marino, we're yet to see. But in the forward line, we needed a star player. And what did we do on the last day, in the last final hours of the transfer window? We went and brought in Raheem Sterling on loan. And so I'm sorry, that's on Edu, that's on Arteta, that's on the owners, because you cannot be expecting to win a title against this amazing Man City team and hardly doing anything to try and bridge that gap. I spoke about it. Havertz, when he plays in his position and the system's working, he's absolutely amazing. But I'm watching that game and I'm thinking, okay, Saka, it's not quite working for you. The game before, you were the man. When things click around Saka, he's one of the best there is. And Havertz, when things click for him, he plays absolutely amazing. At what point are we going to start waking up to this Martinelli situation, please? He scored a couple goals and it was, oh, this is why you have to believe in him. This is what Martinelli can do. He's electric. But what does he do? I'm sorry, how many times did he get past his man? Once? And what happened with the end product? His decision making is absolutely shambolic and I have not seen him progress how he should have. And it's concerning for me now because we're literally carrying a player on the left and I think Arteta is getting frustrated with it too. After the past few games he's spoken about the big chances we've missed and he's pointed out Martinelli. And I'm not going to go on too much about Martinelli because if you follow me on TikTok, you know I've ranted about him for so long, and I used to absolutely love him, and I still think he can be an amazing player. But right now, we need a maverick, we need a star player to play at left wing. Because I'm sorry, you're looking at Saka and you're thinking, wow, what a player. And then the other side is just dead. It's like whenever our team get the ball and they look forward, you see the confidence Odegaard had in Saka. You see the confidence White had in Saka. You see the confidence Rice has in Saka. Havertz and Saka. And then when they look up and they see Martinelli, that confidence is just not there. It's just not. And let's have it right, it's not like Trossard and Sterling are pulling up trees. Trossard's an amazing 12th man for me. I've said numerous times he's one of the best 12th men in the Premier League, if not the best 12th man in the Premier League. But we all acknowledge that after a few games of consistently playing him, the quality does dip and reality does set in. He is not doing it at the moment, and you need to take him out for a bit and revert to him coming off the bench and proving himself off the bench because that is where Trossard is best placed. I'm sorry, but it's true. And then you're just looking at Martinelli again because we can't trust Sterling because, let's have it right, he's been absolutely crap since he's joined us. And that's what I'm saying about last summer. People were calling out for a striker and number 9. But the obvious position that needed extreme surgery, well, not surgery, but extreme strengthening in that first 11 was the left wing position. But people don't want to be honest with themselves about this Martinelli situation. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that because people are going to cry about an agenda for Martinelli. Just people need to start waking up to that, please. And for me, going forward, it's slightly worrying and Arteta has to get to work because He has to start getting creative again, like he did last season. He has to start working on a way for us to create chances and penetrate teams, not purely down the flanks. We need to find a way to get through teams through the central areas. And without Odegaard, that's difficult, but there are ways to do it. We need to stop solely relying on our first goal coming from a set piece, and then from there we can then push on and score more goals. No, we have to start scoring goals and hurting teams in play. We need to start being more ruthless and start taking our chances, stop missing so many opportunities that we get given. Because we don't actually get given a lot. Funnily enough, when teams play Arsenal, they know how good we are and they know how to stop us. Sit back and try to get us on a counter-attack. Guess what? Teams set up like that against City, and they have done for the past few years. And you know what? City find a way to win. They find a way to score goals. Yes, they have Erling Haaland, but we have quality as well. But I'm sick and tired of our attack not bailing out our defence like our defence have bailed out our attack in numerous games. And I'm going to cut it at this because I've had my rant, and I think a lot of us are on the same page with this. Yes, we're not calling for Arteta to get sacked because we're not losing the plot, but there is a significant acknowledgement that right now, look, when that game finished, I said title race was done. We ain't winning the league. Look, we'll be amongst it, finish second or third, but we're not going to win it. And then City gave us a lifeline, and now we're 5 points behind, not 8. So somehow we've been given one final chance, and we have to just start making it click now. We've got Chelsea away next, which is going to be so difficult. We've got Inter Milan away in the Champions League in between. Arteta needs to start rotating his midfielders and start finding a way to make it click and start creating goals and scoring goals. And we need to be more aggressive. Get Rice back in the number 6 position. Get him back to how he should be like he was last season. Protecting the back four and keeping teams enclosed in their own box. And once goals start flowing in, once players start getting their confidence again, things will start moving and we get to the January window and look to sign a star player because we must. If we want to win the title, we must strengthen and get a bit of magic in the January transfer window. Anyways, that's my rant. Let me know what you think, because I'm sure there are lots of opinions. Whenever Arsenal lose or are in a rough patch of form, a lot of people have their own creative ideas as to why that's happening and how to fix it. So let me know what you think down below. I'm going to leave it at that. We've got Inter Milan next, and then we've got Chelsea, and hopefully we can turn it around. It's up to Arteta now. These players as well, when they're given the opportunity, they have to take it. Because we need to turn this around, and we need to turn it around quick. Yes, it's early enough, but competing against Man City in this title race we've seen in the past couple of seasons is very difficult. So let's see. Anyways, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.